I'm still serving in the military today. I've been in for over 21 years. Not a single one of them said, hey, this is a member of Congress on the Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committee who has access to the highest level of security briefings, who still wears the uniform and is serving our country. Hillary Clinton, how can you call this person an asset of Russia or a puppet of Russia? Where's your proof? Because if you got proof, you better show it, because if that's true, then I shouldn't have access to any of this stuff.
Tulsi Gabbard blasts the left and sits down with Dr. Phil to explain why exactly she left the Democrat Party. Let's see what Tulsi had to say.
What pushed it off of what it was when you were enthralled with it, when you said, this is my home? What pushed it off of that?
Point where I saw and felt a major shift was when President Trump ran for office in 2016. I think it was already kind of starting to move in that direction. Like I said, with President Obama, it was 2013 at that time. They weren't interested in having Democrats who disagreed with the president, which was problematic in and of itself. And we saw the same under Republicans under President Bush, that they wouldn't go against their president, even if they knew that his policy was wrong. We don't want blind followers of any political party. But the shift in President Trump's election was very significant, where all of a sudden, if any member disagreed with the Democrat Party, you were told, well, if you don't go along with us, then you're supporting Trump, you're supporting this dictator, they said, this fascist, and all of the names that they threw out there. They threw out the Russia hoax. There were all of these different tactics that they were using to try to force this total compliance, really through fear-mongering.
And this Russia thing, that splashed up on you.
Yes, it did.
Before we get to that whole deal, yeah, absolutely. The left, the Democrats, became really authoritarian, like really tyrannical, and their followers, their supporters, it became, it's funny because they say like Meg is a cult, but clearly like they're the more cult-like people where, if you don't listen to the leader, if you don't listen to what they do, well, then you're out. Or you're a bad person, you're evil. Like I've seen some things on cults and it's all the same things. Like all the same tactics, all the same things that they do. That's what the Democrats and the left have done. And unfortunately, in 2016, it was a little too early for everyone to realize what was going on. But what was beautiful about them pushing out people was that eventually they pushed out enough people that now they're the minority. Now they're the minority because they've pushed a majority of the people away. But what do you guys think? Sound off in the comments below. Let's continue.
Where did that come from?
It came from this, I was going to say it came from Hillary Clinton. She was certainly the most high-profile person to push it. But really, when you look now over time, it's something that comes from their tried and true playbook, where anyone, because it's Donald Trump, it's Bobby Kennedy, it's me, it's, even Elon Musk, they're trotting it out right now in this election. They did it with the Hunter Biden laptop. It is the excuse that they use to try to discredit a person or information that they don't want voters to hear from or to see or be exposed to.
And they came after you hard. They were coming, spy, this, that. What was your reaction when you realized there's a campaign here to paint me with this brush?
Yeah. I had heard this stuff before. What surprised me was the day that I announced my candidacy for president. That week leading up to it, we had heard from NBC News. They were asking some questions about like my associations with Russia or whatever. Like, I've never been to Russia. I've never met Putin. I don't know what exactly they were talking about. And NBC News came out with this hit piece literally as I was walking up on the stage to deliver my speech. And it was a hit piece that planted the seeds for this, there are some suspicious or potential nefarious associations with Russia or whatever it was. But that's what the article was about. They bumped it up so that it was released on the date. And that's kind of what showed the hand of, okay, well, this is, the legacy propaganda media of NBC is in on it. And then it started coming from a lot of different directions. And then Hillary Clinton brought it in. And it's so insane on its face because none of them asked Hillary Clinton for evidence or proof. And the thing that that bothered me the most was that people believed this. And not a single one of them said like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm still serving in the military today. I've been in for over 21 years. Not a single one of them said, hey, this is a member of Congress on the Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committee who has access to the highest level of security briefings, who still wears the uniform and is serving our country. Hillary Clinton, how can you call this person an asset of Russia or a puppet of Russia? Where's your proof? Because if you got proof, you better show it, because if that's true, then I shouldn't have access to any of this stuff.
Well, no.
It never, ever happened. I know why, but the problem was, and I had numerous interactions with voters as I was running for president who believed her. And they were so, like, great Americans who believed her. And when they met me, were so deeply troubled and concerned by this. This one woman in South Carolina, I remember very clearly, she's a local county chair of this very small rural Democrat party. We had like a town hall and a little barbecue shack in the middle of nowhere. And she came out to me with her eyes welled up with tears, and she put her hands on my shoulders and told me how troubled she was to hear this. And she looked into my eyes. She said, Tulsi, are you working for Russia? And it just broke my heart to see the effect of their propaganda and how damaging it is, I mean, really to our democracy. That instead of us having a conversation of her saying, hey, let's talk about your policy on healthcare. Let's talk about your policy and position on education. They plant these seeds in order to make it so that people are suspicious. And, you know, I gave her a hug and I told her I'm willing to give my life for my country.
Well said by Tulsi. You know, the YouTube channel Run, Don't Walk Productions, they did a good video on the whole Tulsi Gabbard, Russia thing where that came out, and the Democrats spreading this propaganda about her. And man, I didn't realize to the extent of like how much they really went after Tulsi. And I thought it all started back in 2020 when she ran for president. But it started like before. It started like she said, like in 2016-ish, 2015 or so. And they really tried to run with this. And then, yeah, Hillary Clinton came out and said that, oh, yeah, she's like a Russian asset. Like Tulsi said, they don't ask her for proof. Hillary Clinton also started the whole Russian thing for Donald Trump as well. I don't know what Hillary Clinton, where she learned, like, hey, I should just throw in Russia. Like, why Russia? Like, I don't know. Why is that the country why is that the go-to country that, like, oh, I'm just going to say that they're Russian assets. Like, why not Chinese assets and stuff? Like, why Russia? I don't know, man. It's crazy. But even in my videos that cover Tulsi here, you know, I have a video that went pretty viral that featured Tulsi on Bill Maher. And even in the comment section there's people calling her like a Russian asset and stuff. I'm pretty sure even on this video, there's going to be people calling her like a Russian asset and stuff. It's crazy. But it's funny because the left and the Democrats, they're always talking about spreading misinformation, you know, lying about people and stuff. Like, oh, the right-wingers, they just spread misinformation. They lie. These social media companies, they need to crack down on misinformation and stuff. But as we all know, I'm pretty sure you know as well, they're all full of crap because they spread lies and propaganda all the time. Most of the things that they say and come out with is lies and propaganda that is only there to help them serve themselves. Ton of projection coming from the left. And the fact of the matter is, like, they're like, they always want to fact check, like the right wingers, they want to fact check what we have to say, but meanwhile no one holds them, at least maybe up until recently, but up until the 2024 election, I will say, no one has really held their feet to the fire. It was rare when people would hold these people accountable and hold their feet to the fire and actually fact check them or anything. It was rare. But meanwhile, right-wingers, people on the right, we had to be very careful what we said all the time, or else we would get in trouble for it. I mean, Sunny Hostin, it's becoming a joke on The View where, like, she says something and then immediately after she has to issue not a retraction, but like kind of like a legal thing to cover their heinies from any legal action, because but no one's done that before up until recently. Before they could just say whatever they wanted. Now they're actually stupid Sunny Hostin. Now she Okay, sorry. Now she has to go out there and issue like these legal things whenever she goes out and tries to spew her lies. So it seems like nature is healing, but it was pretty bad for a while. What do you guys think about what Tulsi Gabbard had to say today? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. And if you do enjoy content like this, I got a whole bunch more content on the screen for you to click away and enjoy.